Hey guys, welcome to another voiceover painting process. So this time I'm gonna be painting Kobeni from Chainsaw Man. So in the manga she was like one of the side character, and it's pretty interesting how she blew up. She's kind of a meme now, so yeah, I'm gonna paint her, give her a little attention. She has a very that Japanese side part hairstyle, so yeah, I kind of like that style, so I thought, you know what, let's go ahead and do it. So the most iconic pose for her right now is like the double peace sign and her looking super nervous and stuff, and she is in general quite an erratic character, and she's a little crazy. But I guess that's the appeal to her. She's very interesting. So yeah, got my reference, got a very basic, blocked in, basic shape. I kind of just did this with a bit of airbrush and the standard round brush. As well as the background is like a bathroom setting, a photo of the bathroom, and I'm actually going for like a Polaroid themed piece for this. So I'm kind of excited to hopefully make this a successful Polaroid piece. So I'm referencing like some of those idol Polaroids, and usually in those Polaroids the lighting would be the character would be quite brighten up, like as if the flash was on. So basically I'll have her pretty bright, and then the background tends to be quite dark in those type of Polaroids. So we're gonna have that. Hopefully it works out basically. And then I also wanted to test out something I've been observing lately. So basically in professional photography, where they use a bit of focus, so what ends up happening is the furthest element from the camera, which is basically the back of the hair, some hair strands, and like the ear silhouette, and maybe even the shoulder silhouette would be slightly blurred. So I've been also testing that out in one of my recent pieces, but it's still a little bit I'm still a little bit not too good with it. But the blur I've been using a lot, this is an older Photoshop, but I think the newest Photoshop would also have it. So I guess I need to, let's go ahead and, so my favorite right now is the iris blur. That's what I've been using. But yeah, I'm hoping that I can also incorporate a bit of blur in those areas to finalize this piece. And it's a little bit challenging for me because I usually like to paint with a lot of contrast and more creative shading, but this time you know, because the Polaroids, the shading for usually is very a bit flatter than what I'm used to. But yes, I'm gonna give it a try. Okay, so I mean, I cut the best that I could. Where should I position? Okay, so I cut her chest onto a separate layer. And we have the waist on a separate layer as well, and this is my frame that I have for the Polaroid. And I should probably darken it a bit. Let's go ahead and do that, darken it up a bit. But for finishing, I was thinking of adding, like, you know how a lot of those Polaroids, you know, the artist will leave like a cute little message on it, so I might do that too for fun. And yeah, I'm gonna try to make this look as Polaroid as I can. Okay, so we can basically start, and usually I'm going to remove the frame first. Usually, you know, we would create from the last painting process, I basically went about making my paint over group. So first we have to create like a filter over it, and it's weird, but first this group needs to be normal. If it's not, then the effect will go down to the background as well, but we only wanted to affect our Kobeni group. So just the character, and then edit, apply the effect, and then I have to constrain all my paint over to this effect, which only applies to these layers. It's kind of hard to understand. I actually stumbled upon this accidentally, and I've been using it quite a bit, but I think once you guys start using it, you'll understand what I'm talking about. Right now it probably don't make too much sense. So once I have that, I can basically freely paint across these layers, which is convenient because you know, I prefer to paint paint in a way that I can blend all the layers together and stuff. Alright guys, sorry about that. Okay, we're gonna go back to that. I'm gonna go ahead and work out the light source. So preferably, let's go ahead and give her a distinct shadow, casting from her head onto her chest, which I've already kind of got going on a little bit. Next up is the waist down. So we're gonna go for shadow here, and then we'll have a soft light. We're gonna have like soft light coming from below, so that way the viewer goes in this area first because of the high contrast, and then it'll gradually go down and stuff. So we gotta make sure to guide our viewers properly. I'm just gonna go ahead, do a little bit of a belly button shading. Using the airbrush doing this, I can get a fairly good amount of shading done. The downside is that it's gonna end up looking really airbrushed, so slowly, you know, I layer this on and slowly sculpt it out, because if I don't, it's gonna end up looking really airbrushed. Let's go ahead and add some interesting shadows. So I'm thinking maybe around here or something. And then let's go ahead and grab this color, darken up that part just to add some interest, and then just to make things a little bit more interesting, we are going to bring down into a cooler tone, especially for our shadow. Add a bit of cool tone, and then underneath here we're gonna add a bit of a bright highlight, especially underneath the neck, but above the collarbone. The collarbone is gonna have a nice bit of shadow still, so I tend to see this a lot. The lighting from the chest would reflect on the neck, and that leads to that highlight there. So we'll just go ahead and blend that out. And then we have the shoulder. I'm just going to use the lasso tool And help me here. Let's go ahead and grab this shadow. And we'll just round out the shoulder here. Kind of going from solid round brush to airbrush. I keep saying airsoft. Add some shadow in the armpit. And we'll just do the other side now. Just going to shade that out. Just grab a bit of the shadow right here. We'll add shadow to the armpit. Grab a bit of warmer tone. And basically lay it out. I'm going to go ahead and add a bit more shadow. So let's grab this color. Sometimes I would just grab color that I think might fit from what I've already got. And then we shall work on the bra. Just using the lasso tool to make it nice and sharp. Just gonna select the bra now and blend that out. I also have to fix the shape on this side. And then I'm going to add a tiny bit of, I think I should make it like a warmer tone, tiny bit of rim light underneath the bra. Using the lasso tool. Make this a little brighter to go with the shadow. And actually I'm just going to make the rest of the bra a bit darker to make that highlight stand out a bit more than match that. And every now and then do a little back and forth. Let's go here into the sleeve, add a bit of shadow. Add a bit of shadow from the sleeve. I'm aiming for like a dress shirt sleeve. Add some wrinkles. And then I have the dress shirt underneath here. Let's go for like a slightly warmer tone with a tiny bit of shadow. Grab the waist silhouette with the lasso tool. Grab this color, bring it up. This might be a bit too bright. I'm gonna try out something, so let's see how it will look. I'll just try to make the shadow here a little bit more prominent. See how that goes. Usually I do this just to see how it looks. Sometimes it makes the composition a bit more interesting and stuff. But whatever we do, we have to make sure that the chest still has the brightest highlight to it. And the belly button. Let's clean up the undie. using the lasso tool, I'm gonna try to clean it up. And then I'll just clean up the lid, so once again I will just stick to the lasso tool to help me. I'm gonna grab a bit of this. I kind of painted over the underwear strap and just bring it back. Constrain it down to our starter layer. Grab a bit of this. Grab a bit of this shadow. This is where I'm gonna highlight the crotch area / the leg area. So to keep in theme with the light source of highlight coming from below, intense lighting towards the chest area and stuff, so keeping that a theme, so to speak. And basically we'll just try to render this out slowly. Grab a bit of this. Okay, so this is a nice little blending out, just slowly refining it. I'm gonna grab this. We're going to just reuse stuff throughout the whole piece, basically. We'll do the same for the sleeve as well. Grab a bit of this. Let's add some highlight to the sleeve top. Probably can't go too dark with the shadow for the sleeve either. Let's add some wrinkles around. And then circle on this side, put some shadow, cast it from the bra to the sleeve. Same with this side, we'll just add a bit of that. And basically, I will try to keep the shading fairly simple, although I'm not sure if I can make that happen. I usually like to overshade and stuff, which is kind of bad. But we managed to blend it out a fair amount. So now let's go down here. Let's go ahead and add a bit of shadow to the cleavage. I'm still not sure how. I know this is like a pretty bust size for her. I'm not sure if I should go for this or like a slightly smaller chest size. So just to test it out, I'm gonna copy this part and just kind of put it on a separate layer. So I'm going to test out a smaller bust size. So let's go ahead and kind of reduce it by editing this part. Grab this. I'm just going to mock up a smaller bust size. Slightly smaller, it's still kind of big, but it'll be smaller-ish compared to what I had before. Let's see here. Maybe a smaller bust size would be suitable. I'm going to also kind of play around with the curvature of the wall. Okay, next let's go ahead and tackle the face. So because the lighting is pretty straightforward. The face is gonna, the face shading is gonna be a little different. I'm not gonna merge on the bust adjustment. Actually, in order to make this work, I think I might have to copy that whole part and just kind of bring it in a bit. I'll move it. I need to move this whole part to bring it in so that it's slightly more tight. If she's wearing a bra, her boobs are gonna be a bit tighter together. Well, at least this bra has quite a bit more support than the usual bikini that I usually go for. But I've been trying to reference like those photos a bit more when I paint sensors, bikini sensors, so I try to make it cover the chest a bit more. I think you guys will notice that in a few of the newer pieces I'm drawing, so let's go ahead and do a little back and forth with our new. So smaller, bigger, smaller. Let me go ahead and play around with the positioning a bit. I think this would fit her a bit more, so maybe we'll go with that. I'll just keep this separate and then we'll make a new layer for the face. Okay, so let's go ahead first with I'm gonna do like a general color real quick. So let's go ahead and do this, and we'll have like a bit more lighting around this area here. So I'm going for like more of a Japanese girl face. So I'm gonna, use that usual Asian eye that I usually do. I've already kind of sketched it out. I'm kind of lazy, so I'll just pour some color from the reference too. So the eyes size is, I was kind of going for more of a smaller eye size, but I might make her eyes a bit bigger as we go on. Just gonna line her eyes here, and also I like to have the original art from the manga / anime, right? I think somebody drew that, but it's pretty accurate to how it looks in the manga. I would like to try my best to retain a bit of that feature from the original art. Oh my goodness. But the artists, the mangaka, tend to do this as well, which I like to do. It does a little bit of eyeliner underneath the lower lid, and then do the little lashes, which is I like doing that as well. So good for me. I can just basically do it. And then for the eyes, there's little empty spots. And she has brown eyes. Let's grab rid of that. And just looking at like real life photos of Japanese female noses in those style of Polaroid lightings. I'm just referencing it right now, so it looks kind of like this. And we have a nice contour of the nose. Actually, it's very interesting. Just a highlight and then just kind of blend into the cheek. Let's go ahead and grab a bit of this. We'll have a bit of blush. And then gonna make the face shape a bit plumb on this side here with shadow. Contouring down. Grab a bit of highlight for the chin. Let's grab this. It's supposed to go down, blend it in pretty smoothly. Also, the face is a lot rounder, I notice as well, so I have to correct that too as I refine the face. So, you know, first few passes it makes the face look kind of wonky and stuff, but as long as I know that it's not there yet, it's okay, even if my process looks very messy at first. And then there's this particular like shape for those like Asian girl mouth that I see a lot. So I might try to incorporate that as like double Cupid's bow, or Cupid's bow. Cupid's bow shape. Oh yeah, she's supposed to not be smiling. I just forgot. I'm like looking at the reference. But no, she's not smiling. She's supposed to have like a very nervous look. Let's go ahead and use a bit more pink for the tongue. Save real quick. Just gonna try to blend this out. Blend in the jawline. Grab a bit of this. Let's go ahead and add some shadow to the eyes. And I'll just put some highlight underneath the eyebrows. And from the eyelid, going for that Asian eye shading, so keeping the nose bridge pretty soft and undefined. And for the hair, even for paint over, I prefer to have it on a separate layer because it makes it easier to cut the paint over on a separate layer. I'm just going to get it a little bit closer to how she looks, but in general her hairstyles, that type of Asian, actually Japanese side bang look. It's pretty common, except for this ponytail right here. It's not too common, but there's plenty of good references for that. Let's go ahead and grab this highlight. We're gonna go ahead and highlight that part. is we're gonna give her some hairline. Grab a bit of this. Oh, airbrush. Why is it not changing to airbrush? There we go. Airbrush here. And then I'll have it a bit over here. I'm gonna select certain areas and adding the highlight, face highlight. So that's what we have. I'm gonna rotate the canvas slightly here. So I can work on the nose a bit better. Cleaning up the nostrils. Definitely not used to painting this. Grab a bit of this color. Especially for this type of face, this type of lighting. Shading is pretty important because it's more or less very not, it doesn't have that much contrast, so I have to make sure the shading is precise and stuff. And I have a feeling I'm gonna be on this for a bit. Let's grab a bit of this color, bring down her eye shape. And what I'm gonna do now is just, we're gonna edit her position, eye position. Oh yes, the nose highlight is the brightest actually. Let's go back to this, grab that, grab this color. I'm just going to make this brighter. Grab this color. Sometimes I also kind of paint over a bit too much, so I'm gonna go back to what I had before and re-add those colors that I kind of painted over. I went back to kind of look at some of the Polaroid references, and another thing I forgot to keep in mind, which is pretty important, is that the overexposure of the flash really makes their face quite bright compared to the rest of their bodies. It's usually like the hands and the face that's a bit more overexposed, which is quite interesting. So therefore I feel better about making her face a little bit brighter compared to the rest of her. And I think I can even go maybe like a shade brighter than the rest of her. So yeah, I'm just going to kind of warp her face around a bit. Go back to my the old base that I have. I'm only going to the old base because I want to grab that color that I used to have, which was pretty bright, and just gonna bring it back. So we'll just slowly refine this, and we're going to move the nose over a bit. Usually the nose is pretty overexposed too. so I'm trying to replicate that. It's just I'm not used to this style of shading. It's a little different. Now onto the ear. So for the ear, it's gonna be a lot darker compared to the face shading. We'll use a bit more of a pinkish rose-ish color, aiming towards like red / purple-ish tone in general. And if I have the ear a little bit darker, it's gonna help bring forth her face towards the camera. So we'll slowly lead the viewer to it. Let's go ahead and take a look at the hairstyle. Oh, right, I have to paint the hairstyle in a separate way. I'll slowly get there. And also for the hair that gets overexposed by that type of Polaroid photos when you have flash on, pretty much we'll have some nice hair shine using a slightly yellowish tone for this. Good thing her hair is a black color. Black hair is slightly easier to paint because you can hide quite a bit in black hair. If we were to, let's say, paint like a colored hair, like blonde or red hair, it's gonna be a bit more challenging because we can't really hide as much in that. Fix the shape. Go back. I'm going to grab this save real quick. Have a bit of blue throughout. But we're not going to get anywhere really without a hairbrush, a speckle brush. I don't usually normally use this brush, but you can do a simple hair texture with it. The best option would be photo texture. So we can use a combination of this brush, splash on some of realistic photo texture, paint over it, and layer it a few times, and it's gonna get a nice result after. Usually I would do that for black hair, especially because it's easy to find a nice reference. For like colored hair, it's a little bit harder, and it would probably be easier to just paint without photo texture, or it's gonna be a lot harder to incorporate. But yeah, we have a kind of like a basic hair shading going on. I can definitely see myself grabbing some photo texture and put it around these areas especially, and then just crank up the contrast, and then adding some of those hair strands to make it look extra details. In certain pieces, I find that random hair strands work well. In others, it doesn't look as good. So it's always very situational for me anyways. Let's do some I'm always kind of looking at the reference a bit every now and then. Gotta make sure that it's good. So her eye shape is a little bit flat towards the top, so let's go ahead and do that. I'll do it like this. So I notice it's very slanted and flat like that, so I had it a bit more round. I'm gonna try to make it more like this and see how it looks. And lift up her eyebrows. I've been painting a bit more cartoon style, try to use more cartoon references for the Elsas and the character Mavis, and they have their eyebrows pretty high. The eyebrows is, I find that the more stylized it is, the eyebrows is a lot higher. It just gives the character more expression that way. So I'll have that. At the same time, oh, I have to go and do that to this side too. So make it a bit flatter. Flatter. Bring up the eyelid crease. Like this. Let's go ahead. Copy the style of the eye shape. I'll just try it. I might make the eyes a bit bigger too. Make the nose smaller too, so we get the 2 dotted nose. Let's try to see if we can emulate the style a bit more. So we're gonna stylize it up a bit more. So down with the nose. Bring up the tongue. And last but not least, make the eyes a lot bigger. I'm going to hide that hair overlay. Make the eyes a bit bigger. Like that. And then I'm going to ease up on the tear dot, because in the anime it's usually they're not very noticeable, so we're gonna kind of remove the tear dot detail. I tend to do that for more anime style anyways, so. I'm going to use a cooler tone for the inside of the eyes. We're just going to keep adding a bit of shadow to the eyes. So right now it's pretty messy. So this is the new edit. Of course there's room for some changes. Sometimes it's good that it's messy, because once you start painting over, it's gonna start looking a little more, it'll have a lot of texture because it's so messy. Okay, I'm just looking at the reference and thinking I should try to emulate it a bit more and see how that goes. Usually when I try to emulate like a reference the character from an anime, I just have to really look hard at the reference and just try my best to stick with the shape and stuff. And sometimes I need to pull it back too, because it doesn't always go according to plan. Sometimes it doesn't look good with that combination of shading and whatnot. It's like a lot of trial and error. What if let's take this color. gonna try to move this pupil over a bit. Before, after, so it's a bit more stylized. Let's go ahead, copy what I had before, paste down top, lower the opacity. We'll do like an in-between. I also like doing this. It's like using your old version as a texture. And sometimes I like stacking them because it gives some interesting result. I also like how it softens up certain features when I do that as well. And the level of softening depends on how well it's blended too. So sometimes, you know, I stack two versions that's pretty rough, and that's gonna give me a rough result. So when I start refining and I do this, it tends to be a bit softer. So I can go with this, a little bit of it in between, still with more of an exaggerated look for her. Man, I'm so not used to this. Oh yeah, I should. Okay, let's have a look at this. Let's try this. So I'm gonna copy this whole part. I'll make it bigger, bring it up. Merge down. Merge down. This is before, this is after. Let's go ahead and do that again. So we'll grab the old version, put it on the new version, lower the opacity, and see if we can get a nice little result here. Let's go with the smudge tool. We'll just blend it in, blend it, smudge it, smudge it, smudge it, smudge out the colors to make it nice and soft. Lower the opacity. Create a new layer. I'm going to bring down the opacity this time. I'm going to just use this as a shading. Let's get a little shadow here. I should look for some of those, what's it called? Oh, I should Google photos with flash on or something. That way I can see what types of lighting. There must be different types. So, let's go ahead and see. I Googled selfie with flash on. Ooh, that's bright. Okay. Oh, interesting. So usually you tend to get this type of shading, so very straight on type of shading. I'm going to softly pronunciate the eye shape. Get some shading around the nose. Let's go ahead, zoom in here. So right now it's fairly soft what I have. I'm going to start go ahead start to emphasize some of the features. So first off, let's emphasize the eyes. And I'm gonna still try to basically stick to the style. So I see that there's a white circle in the middle of the eyes. Grab a bit of pink. I would like to have some pink inside the eyelid. And I see some shine. And in the manga, we get a lot of little scribbles, so I'm gonna try to see if I can go ahead and do that too. Although I don't think it's very visible, so maybe I make it a little bit more visible. And then in the manga, we have a lot of emphasis under the eye bag, so let's go ahead and try doing that. Just kind of following the shape here a bit more. Put some eyelashes. Okay. It's looking a little bit more like her. Could use some more detail. I'm gonna put a bit of blue here to really contrast with the eye color, the brown eye color. A bit of pink. Look at the beauty mark. And let's see what will happen if we switch up the face shape a bit, just adding more cheek. And in general, just switching up how I kind of blend it in. Reset view to zoom out. I'm going to now grab a bit of this color. Shape it underneath. Just gonna cut the what's it called, tendon of the neck, really emphasize it. I might also have to manually make the neck just a bit thinner. So I'll just go here, make her neck a little thinner. Next up, doing some shadow underneath the brow here. clean up some of these areas. Okay, now moving on to the hand. Just gonna start blending it out a bit. I might need to fix it further after I merge everything down, but we're just gonna get a bit of the basic shape going on. Grab a bit of this, highlight where the folds are, so just going slowly, bit by bit, using some lasso tool. Let's go here. This part needs to be pretty bright if I'm going to make the hand stand out. Bring this down here, and we're just going to add a bit of the sleeve here. Need to fix the shape. Let's go ahead and work on this a bit. I think I need to add a tad more blue to this, so just adding a bit more blue throughout. And just doing some scribble for the texture. Go here, we'll just blend it out, adding again a slightly more blue tone. Grab a bit of this. Need slightly more drop down shadow from the sleeve on the hand. Now to this one. Blending out the thumb a bit. And then we'll do the same for these. Pulling this out. Same for here. And we'll just soften this part. Grab a bit of this shadow. Just gonna make sure our sleeve stands out by properly isolating these different parts with the lasso tool. Probably need to extend the sleeve on this side. The sleeve is a lot longer. This one needs a bit more volume down here. Grab a bit of this. A Actually, before I do that, I'm gonna merge down, create a new layer. You know what? Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. Merge everything down. So before, after, create a new layer, constrain it down. Okay, now I will attempt to do something tricky here. I know I said I wasn't gonna add more shadow, but I can't help it. So what I'll do, copy, merge. Oh wait, hold on. Before I do that, I'm gonna remove the hair layer once again. Copy, merge, and we're gonna just darken that whole area. I said I wasn't gonna, but I can't help it. I always want to make the contrast more and more. It might be a bit too green. It needs to be a bit more yellow, so I'm gonna undo that. Let's go for this. Just gonna slowly add more contrast. Let's go ahead, grab this color. Grab this. So we'll have the chin be a little brighter than this part, but still bringing down that yellow tone. And then grab this color right here, and we'll just emphasize the, what's it called, the collarbone. And just let's grab this color. Soften that up. I'm going to grab this eye, copy, merge, make it bright, a lot brighter. Just testing out slightly different lighting. Grab this. Let's add a bit blush. And what I'll do is blend all of this down. I'm still trying to decide how I'm going to do this. Let's add a bit of shadow underneath that nose. Merge down. Do a little before and after, just to check what's happening and if this actually makes it look better or not. So I might do a little bit of an in-between again. So I do a lot of light source shading changes, and then I just do a little in between of them and just keep doing it until I get happy with the results. And this phase takes a lot longer. Okay, now I want to see how it would look real quick if I kind of just made the, you know, the hair light source a lot brighter. I think if I do that, it's gonna read more anime. If I exaggerate the shine like this. Yeah, I think so. Alright guys, so this is my first pass of that. We'll do a little bit of before and after. Before looks kind of derpy. Now it's a little bit more stylized, and then we'll have to flip it. I think she needs to be a lot brighter. I'm gonna check real quick how it would look if I made her a little brighter. Maybe just on the face alone, if I just made it brighter on the face. Because I want to make it look like the Polaroid stuff, so face, neck, and this part brighter. And maybe a bit on the hand too. And then we'll add more contrast to the background. It needs to be also less bright, less colorful like that. So it feels a bit more overexposed, like they had the flash on when this photo was taken. And then I need to fix up the face shape and all that, but in general I think it's getting there. Before this oh my god. Before, after. Alright guys, I will be right back for part 2. Welcome back guys. As you can see, I did end up working on it a bit more, refining and stuff. Went with this direction for the face. I actually did 2 passes on the face and I wasn't getting close enough to this style, so I looked for another reference that's a bit more stylized from the manga, which is this right here, and I'm gonna try to implement some of this more scribbly lines for the eyes. And I also kind of googled a bit more Polaroids because I don't think I'm getting the proper lighting for it just yet, so I end up looking at like idol Polaroids. That's the kind of feel that I'm trying to aim for. At least that's like a pretty good example of what I'm trying to do. Anything else is not very close to what I want to do. And usually the backgrounds in those Polaroids are pretty dark. So I'm thinking I need to make the background a lot darker. And also the shading for those Polaroids is a little bit more different than what I have. Usually you don't tend to see this type of strong lighting. You know, we probably see maybe let's say a strong shadow underneath the face. I'll probably bring up the shading. I need the shading for that. And also remove the strong shadow underneath the neck too. So the shading looks like the lighting's coming directly from the front. Kind of like how Polaroids have the flash. So maybe it's more like this, but I still want to keep this type of shading. And remove frame So I refined the stomach portion and the top portion, and then was trying to figure out the face. And also in Polaroids there is a pretty distinct shadow around, especially around the face. Since most of the lighting is coming from the front, so we get a pretty exposed lighting on the face. Pretty much exposure on the face, sorry, that's what I meant to say. A lot of exposure on the face. Make this a bit darker. Highlight the collarbone. That's something that's quite visible. Get a bit of this. I'm just going to add a tiny bit of shading. Yeah, okay. Maybe I can have a bit of the older shading. I'm just going to erase this slightly, or maybe not slightly. Maybe like that. The lighting is a bit different under the face, which is good. And we're gonna get a nice drop down shadow from the hair on top of the face. I still haven't cleaned up the layers and separated them. Still on my paint over group, I mean. I also brought up the ear. Okay, now working on the hands. I'm going to, what's this? Is this? Oh no, what is this? Oh, okay, that's the hair pin. Lagging a little bit. And the hands, especially in Polaroids, are very interesting. Let's have a look. Very much so the same concept, so I need to just switch up the lighting for the hands. So I'm going to imagine lighting just coming directly in front of the hands. So we have highlight in the center and shadow on both sides of the silhouette of the hand. For each part of the hand. So I kind of failed this lasso tool there. So just going to slowly get to it. Add the shadow. And depending on how close the hand is to the face, we either get the same brightness or just slightly darker. So if the hand is a bit further away from the face, I'm going to make it a bit darker. Leg. Line it and then lasso it to blend it. Add a top bit of color there. Next up, nails. Let's make it just a bit lighter. Add a bit of shadow around it. And then we'll add a bit of highlight in the center. Going to make the ink a bit thicker. Make this one a bit thinner. And a bit of pink. My Photoshop is kind of lagging a bit in some of these areas, so it's skipping a little bit. It's not going the speed that I would like it. I have to cut, after I cut this hand onto it separately, I can start refining it and cleaning it up a bit. Or I could go here. Clean it up from all the layers. And clean up this thing. Grab a bit of this. Get some shadow. Gonna line the wrinkles of the hand. Get a bit of tenderness. Got a bit of this. It's kind of looking a bit too soft still. Copy that. And I'm just going to extend the thumb. Get some highlight on the thumb. Delete. Delete. make the hand stand out a bit sharper. Go back to the original layer, copy, paste, lower the opacity. To start by repositioning the fingers like this, using a lot of lasso tool to keep it clean. I think we should stick with this. And just slowly kind of fix the hand as we go. And find the color to cut the sleeve here. I'm also going to just extend it. Go for a bit of a exposure on the sleeve. Let's bring up a bit of the sleeve over the brown. The round brush so I can go in. It's kind of looking a bit too soft though, so I'm just going to sharpen up. Gotta keep some of that sharpened. The shading detail. I'm in my focus mode, so I'm kind of not talking as much. Highlight the parts of the sleeve. Let's give it a little button here. Grab a bit of this color. Extend the sleeve bit more. Let's do that. Grab a bit of shadow. I'm just gonna add some drop down shadow from the bra on the sleeve. And vice versa. Grab a bit of that. I'm just going to softly get a bit of that lighting from this white sleeve onto the black bra. Make the bra a bit darker too, so that the highlight stands out. Now onto the other hand. This hand's looking still kind of messy, but it's getting there. Next hand. Okay, so let's grab a bit of the shoulder color and we'll just put it in the center of each finger. Similar to the other hand. We'll just try our best to blend it in using some lines and then blend it as we see fit. And also, I'm just trying to picture how each finger is going to be in terms of lighting. Lighting is coming from the center. Looking a bit too soft. It needs to be sharper, so I have to keep some of the areas a bit more sharper. Okay. Just moving the fingers. Go back here. Coming up the hand. Just again, just trying to keep the highlight in the center / middle. Oh wait, yeah, that's the same thing. Keep it in the center kind of deal, and I'm gonna get a nice gradient. Grab this. Nice gradient in the center, with shadow around it. I need to use the airbrush tool for this to keep it fairly blended. Add a tiny bit of pinky tone, because if I don't, it looks a bit too airbrush. Even right now it's looking a bit too airbrush. If I use the lasso tool, at least it's gonna look a tad less, a bit more sharper. Add some shine. It's a little bit too dark around here, so copy all of that. Just brighten it up. It's like, okay, I think that's a bit better. Now to here, so we'll just blend out the rest. Again, just keeping the highlighting near the center. Next one is the sleeve. And I try to kind of soften up the shading here. Using the lasso tool to help me keep it neat. Bring it there. It's looking a little bit too much though. I wish I could do a better job right now, but it lags too much. Keep some of the details. Let's just contours most of that. Paint some folds. Add some shadow towards the edge. I might also want to reduce the size of this too, so go back. Where is that layer of it? There it is. Delete. Clean that up. Highlight the center of the hand. Getting that exposure look. Every time you do that, I have to go back, clean up the silhouette because it gets overly soft. Let's remove this. Clean it up. Okay, over here. Clean it up. Actually, I kind of like how the sleeve was before, so I'll just bring that back. Go back to the solid round brush. The airbrush is sometimes not very efficient when you want to show some texture. You have to use some solid round brush and then switch back to your brush to smooth it out. Otherwise it's gonna just end up looking way too muddy and stuff. We don't want that. I think I could probably make it smaller. There we go. There. Let's go back to this layer work on the shoulder. for that same lighting. A little bit of a gradient on the shoulder. I'm going to paint her shoulder blade and slash the indentation here, the curvature and that part sticking out. So it's not the right shading for this part. Last light. Definitely not used to this. Shoulders usually. Let's do it. I'm not really happy with how I painted the shoulder here. I wonder if this overexposure looks. This part looks muddy. Try to clean it up. Go back to the hand. It's getting muddled by the shoulder, so I try to make it a bit brighter so it stands out from the shoulder. This color. Let's do that. This part is muddy. Some of these areas is a little muddy because I just use airbrush. And sometimes that doesn't always give the best results because it just looks a bit too rough, so we have to try our best to blend it out with lasso tool and airbrush. And that shoulder, I want to give this area a bit more definition. I'm trying to contour the shoulder. That hopefully is a little better. It's always fun to do a little before and after. Before, after. And we can do canvas rotate. Looks okay except the hands needs work. Yeah, for sure. It's getting there though. This hand needs to be bigger and that hand needs to be smaller. I could probably make this hand bigger though. And the shoulder here. The shading is off. We shall continue to work on this. Alright guys, so I actually ended up darkening the background a bit more, filled in the window, because I'm going for a bit of a bit of drop down shadow from the character itself on the background, which I see quite a bit of this in Polaroid, so just giving it a try, and I think it reads like it a lot more now. Well, hopefully I won't go back. Try to fix the hand a bit. I pretty much went about it pretty messy, not really caring about the background, because after I'm happy with it, I will clean it up and have the hand on a separate layer and stuff. So for now, I just try to have the color that I like. Try to blend it in. Grab a bit of this. Go back here. Create a new layer. So I can work on the shoulder. Darken the side of the shoulder. Grab a bit of this color. And let's borrow some of the shine or highlight color from this. I'm going to ease up on the shadow too, so I'll be blending that in somewhat. Contour the other shoulder. Let's grab a slightly darker shade. This is so out of my preferred shading style. Before I merge down, create a new layer. I'm just going to brush on a few slightly different tones, some yellow, some peach. Make it a bit more obvious. Grab some of this color and grab a bit of highlight in the center here. Let's the lasso tool, help me keep the collarbone sharp. Oh, it's lagging. Scrub the skyline, keeping the center here. Let's clean up the glass strip. Next up, reach down. Let's go here. And just continue to clean this part. Back to the hair now. I have a few things to try. Let's introduce a bit of brown. It needs to be pretty lightly applied. Even this might be just a tad too much. I just want to test it out because I see a lot of Japanese hairstyles has a bit of brown undertone to it, so I just want to add that in, and then we'll add a cooler tone like this. Right now it's looking extra muddy. That's okay though. I just want to see how that looks. Go back in with the lasso tool. Adding some of the structure back with it. Still a bit before and after. Merge down for the new layer. Let's use the speckle brush this time. Let's go for this highlight color. And I'll just manually paint on some highlights. I'm also using the lasso tool to help me isolate certain areas to highlight. Change the color of it though to a bit more grayed out tone. Let's add some here using the lasso tool. I isolate some of these different sections that I want to highlight to add just a slight bit of variation, and I just have a solid chunk of highlights. It does sometimes help. So we'll just do a fill out the hair. the brown tones kind of been painted over more or less. Do a little before and after. Merge down hairpin tone. Just adding just a tiny bit of highlight to go back to the hair layer. Put down shadow for the ear. Kind of helping me, this last look is helping me shape out the ear. I think that should do it. Okay. Let's go ahead and flip our canvas back and have a look. It's getting there. I think what I'll do is, let's do this. Copy this part of the hand. Make it bigger. Let's go here, copy, paste, bring out the shoulder more. And it's got to be just cooler purple, a bit more purple tone to blend the shoulder. Unlock it and highlight in the highest point. Merge down, create a new layer. Just gonna in general darken it up a bit more and then adjust the colors for it. Maybe it needs to be let's go for more of like an orangey tone here. Oh, lag. merge down. Let's make this and this down. To match the other side. Add some shadow. That might be a bit too dark. There's a note here. Oh. If I zoom out, it actually somewhat resembles a Polaroid. Maybe if I add some grain to it and stuff. I just wanted to try something real quick. I used to do this a lot. It's a chromatic aberration effect that I do a lot. Let's copy, merge, paste, select the whole thing, go to channels, we'll just move it around a bit, move the blue, red in a few directions. Is it actually working? Is it? I think it's working a little bit. Oh, that's why. There we go. It's kind of went a little bit too crazy, but it does give some interesting effect. Let me move it out here. So yeah, it does this, and if I just like tone it down slightly, it gives a very interesting effect. And if I added some grain to it, duplicate once again, just for testing purposes. Let's add noise. Is it showing up? Oh, there we go. Actually, I can cover up so much parts that I don't like with this effect. So if I do that, it actually feels more like a Polaroid now. And then I can do sharpen, unsharpen mask, which helps me sharpen the piece with a few settings. Alright, so I'm just testing it out. Add some contrast into this. If I do like that, so final could look like this. Actually, I could probably just call it a day here. But yeah, interesting effect, and then add some interesting vignette effect around the border. Maybe could probably keep some of this area. Like that to really help to really sell the overexposure around this area of the character. Maybe some slight highlights in the background too. Oh, okay, let's go with this. Let's put down color. So yeah, final result could potentially look like this. Actually, I could probably just do it like that. Although I would like to add some more detail to the lingerie and stuff and clean up this whole part. Let's flip her. Oh, still looks fine. Oh. Let's color edit. This is the paint over layer. So now we have to tediously go through each of this and apply it to separate layers. So the first layer is the hair that I have to cut. Well, good thing I have it mostly on separate layers. I'll just take off the hair layer and grab the face layer that I was working on. Let's do copy, paste. Got my face layer. Next up, the hair layer. Put it here. Clean it up a bit. So it's gonna be kind of like that. Hair pin. Next up, what's this? That's the hair, the ponytail. I do typos all the time. Next up is the chest layer. Pop back on what we have, remove the hands. So the chest layer is going to be from the neck to the bikini straps. Remove that. We just kind of just cut this layer out on its own. Oh. There. Copy. Paste. Remove this. And color chest. This is the hands layer now. Okay, let's go ahead, just grab the hands, bring it out, pop back on. Oh, actually I should have merged down. Gotta make sure it's clean. Merge down. Last but not least, we have the shoulder. Remove this. And I'll just select. I have to hide the head too. So I can get a nice selection for the shoulder parts. With including the waist down. Remove the frames. This is gonna be copy merge the body layer. Just gonna grab the name and put it there. Delete the old body layer. Last but not least, we have the what's it called? The shirt. Oh no. Hold on. There's something weird going on. Parts of the body layer is missing. Let me go and grab it. Hopefully that's where it is. Okay. Merge down. Merge down again. So now all of our layers are separate. This part is kind of messy. Just gonna clean it up. Okay. Now the hand is in a layer of its own. It's gonna be easier to clean it up and stuff and move it around. Clean this up. Bring this in. Clean up the finger. There. Bring it down. Merge down. Do a little before and after. Oh, toggle in and off. I like doing that even though it doesn't really make a difference. It's a bit of a habit now because I do this a lot. Clean up left finger. Round up the hand here. Now that that's done, pop back on the front. Let's rotate her back. Gotta figure out which direction is the correct direction. Okay, this is the original, this is the right direction. Now I can kind of move around the head a bit more freely. I might need to paint over the neck a little bit, but I can have a bit more freedom with the neck placement now that it's in a separate layer. Add a bit of shadow underneath. Clean up the silhouette as well. Have to do it on both layers, both of the body layer and the chest layer. And then can clean up the silhouette too. I will have a lot more control now that everything's in separate layers. I can keep it nice and clean. Reference. Well, let's go ahead and try to add bit of blue to the eye. To exaggerate the eye shape. Gonna open up the shape in the center of the eyes. Just trying to emulate the stylized look of her eyes, even though it's very it's got that that makeup look that quite popular in Japan. So I have to see how I can push it a bit too, so it doesn't look so it's looking not exaggerated enough. I'm just going to have a look at the, let's see here, look at the manga. If I brought up the eyebrows. Constrain this down. Needs to be have a bit more vignette around it, around the silhouette of the face. I might even add some line, actually. Yeah, it's not looking stylized enough, so maybe I add some lines around her face. This is what our teachers ask you not to do, chicken scratches. I'm using chicken scratches. Just following her mold positioning. If I add the lines, maybe I'll look more stylized, because I can't get it to look that way. So we'll add some strong stylized line, even on the chest layer maybe. Oh, what's this? Oh, that's the shadow, okay. Let's do this. It does help a little bit. I'm just like looking back at the manga, because that's where I'm gonna get most of the more more of the stylized look. The anime smoothed out a bit of the mangaka style, so I look directly to the manga. try to make the line work a bit more prominent. Maybe out like more like look for the hair like that. Maybe we'll keep the lines and I'll add to it somehow. Let's do multiply. Add a tiny shadow underneath the nose maybe. Or add a bit of it like this. Add a shadow underneath the lips. Add shadow inside the eyes. Let's add some pinkish shadow around the eyes. Might be a bit too much. I'm gonna tone it down. Pull that down a bit. It's looking more stylized if I do. Oh no! It's lagging. Oh boy. Let's save. So before, after. Just add a little bit more of the style. Alright guys, I'm going to finish this off and then I will hopefully be able to incorporate the effect I showed you guys. Planning on doing. Test it out in different layer modes. I could test it out in different layer modes to see which one gives me the best Polaroid-ish effect. And that should be it. This voiceover was kind of quick. Only because, you know, this doesn't involve very complex lighting in my opinion. Yeah. Since it's a very straight-on, exposed looking character in terms of lighting. So it's very, for me, you know, there's a pattern to it, so it's highlight in the middle and then shadow around the silhouette of the character. That's the general thing for exposed lighting. So it was not as complicated as I would usually do, which is yeah. But hopefully I'll manage to make it look interesting. This is definitely different. But yeah, I'll see you guys in the next voiceover. Have a great day, guys, or night. See you guys soon.